welcome to Long Arm Wednesday. I'm Laura Lynn from the Mom and Pop Quilt Shop. Very happy to see you here today. We're working on the other donation quilt for the family, the McDougals that lost their house to a house fire. So I've done the boys already. They're already ready to go and rocking for them. I just want to get the ones done that we did for the parents. And it was a weekend project a couple weekends ago. Free pattern. Check it out if you're interested. All the fabric, the top fabric was donated from my friend Angie from Texas. She brought it all up for me and I chopped it up and made this beautiful big old star. So hopefully they like it once we get it all finished. So I've done a little swirly pattern in the corners, done some swirl and feather around the border, just this border right here, this darker gray one, and I'll do something in the lighter gray one. I just hadn't finished it out. I didn't know whether I'd do piano keys, but we'll figure that out. So what I've done in the main, I guess the main part or the main body of the star itself, when it's all big and on the wall or on the bed, there's like it almost kind of forms like a cross. There's one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, and they're perfectly like squares. So I really like that idea and thought of doing something different in that, and then doing something different in the corners like I have, and then I'll making the points out here for the stars. I'll make those something else, but for right now we're going to work on this. That was my ruler. There it is. It's clear. So what we're doing, it's been very popular past, literally probably about past year. I've seen the first one come around, and it's just doing some fun lines between one point to the next and going around and around and around and around and just pretty much having some fun. So, but because I have a short ruler, I do have my ruler base on right here. You can hear me tapping it. I'm going to have to scoot my ruler across with me for the first couple roundabouts. So hopefully my arm will not get in the way, but it's kind of hard to at first because I really need to be pushing on this side. So we'll figure it out and hopefully it won't get in the way too much. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to pick your point here, and then over on this line here, you want to pick about an inch up from where the corner is, and then just aim for there. Okay. I really am sorry that my hand is going to be in the way. Mostly just on this one stitch here on that side. And then from that point, you want to consider that a point as it was in the end of the quilt, like it was right up there, and come all the way over to this part right over here, about an inch up, okay? Okay, so aim it up, line it up visually. And because my ruler is a little shorter, but when I get to halfway, I'm going to scooch it so I know it's past the block that I'm working on. Okay, and constant pressure on it. You won't want it flipping and flopping either way, because that's just when, you know, the needle's going to munch it. And you do not want that. These plexi rulers are expensive enough. You don't need to be chipping a needle or even the ruler board. Okay. And if you happen to have these grippy things on the end of your ruler and you are working on an embroidery, don't. It rips it up. That's very sad. Very sad. I cried. Not on that though. That actually was a Long Arm Wednesday, this one behind me here. But unfortunately the file got corrupted before we could actually get it uploaded. So I'm very bummer-ish, because it's one of my very favorite little quilters that comes to the shop here. She always does such an amazing job with her embroidery and her quilt putting together, and it's really quite lovely. So, oops. And I hope she likes the way that we've quilted it up here. So, I wanted to get its little TV time sort of thing because it didn't get its Long Arm Wednesday spotlight. And I just did a meander. I went really, really, really close to those embroidery images, and then did a nice fun meander all the way around in between. Okay, now you're stopping right at that edge. Okay. Okay, now you're only stopping here. You're not going all the way over to there, right? That's what gives us the little funky design going on here. Oops, see, that's what happened. I teetered-tottered the ruler and it went up underneath the noodle. I'm the noodle. I'm a noodle brain for doing that. See? Oh, fudge. That's what happens. Oh, I tell ya. Bad. It scares you too. Now shift. Don't let it teeter. Lesson learned. And I have a habit of just letting the needle go popping up and down until I'm ready to set up the next one. So, and if I'm not that confident, I really shouldn't be doing that. I really want to aim for that over there. I'm stopping at that line before I move my ruler. Lining up again. Just trying to do what we did last time. The dork move. Okay. Yeah, it's going to take some time, but it'll be worth it in the end. And if you want to pre-mark all, like, if you want to make sure this is exact on every inch or every 3/4 inch, by all means, pop a little dot on there, a little chalk mark on there, whatever it is that you need to do to make it, you know, bang on if that's what you're looking for. Okay. We're almost there. Getting there. Okay. And once you get the hang of it, you'll be flipping that ruler around like it's nobody's business. But just make sure you got your proper pressure points. You know, you don't want to do what it did, because like I said, it's scary. You don't know where it's going. It's like, is it coming to get me? See, it's not always sometimes what to do, it's what not to do. It's a life lessons. Take it and run. I just think it adds such a nice little design. You know, it's unique, and you can do it with just a ruler and, you know, a couple of funky dots if you wanted to, like I say, you know, put it all out that this is how, you know, exactly 1.5 inches or 1/2 inch or whatever. Okay, sorry, a little camera was in the way. I couldn't see where I was going. And of course, as you come to the center, it's, you know, it's so much easier just to push down on the ruler and go from your one spot to the next spot without having to shift it. Oops. There we go. And I got a couple more of these squares to do. And then it's going to be the spirals in the corner, little, actually, it almost kind of looks like a fancy fence or like a gate or something like that with the scrolly, feathery text. So it looks quite pretty. It's in the, that's in the corners. And then I'm going to highlight the rest of the star somehow. I haven't figured that out yet. Sometimes as you're just progressing through the quilt, it starts to talk to you and you're just like, oh, I'll do this here and this suits that over there. And, you know, I just want to do a bit of fun shapes. You know, I want this to be, you know, something that's doesn't really remind them of the bad time that they had with the house fire, but maybe to remind them that there is a big community out there that cared and is willing to help, and, you know, it's all those little things. It's all that make us human. Some of us, anyways. Some of us are aliens. I know my husband used to think, I was sure when we were dating, thought, this chick is from another planet. And they're calling her home. Okay, almost done. And we will call that a long arm Wednesday. And of course, if you wanted to tie it all together, you can put a little spiral in the center of this, you know, you know, rectangle diamond thingy we got going on. to tie the outsides together with the little spiral and swirl. I think I'll just finish it off like a triangle. Like that. There we go. What do we think of that, eh? So Canadian. I hope everybody has a fantastic Canada Day, celebrating 150 years. Go us. And just to note that the Quilt Canada, the total that was what was pretty much our goal across Canada was for 1,000 quilts. We had 2,617 quilts made by us Canadians. Talk about overachievers. Go us. Right on. So that's the Long Arm Wednesday, and hopefully you can take a little peekaboo at this one right here. It shows up a little bit better on the purple. And then the gray one up here and there is going to be the same, or is the same, and then this one down here, and this one is just going to be the same. And like I said, I put little spirals in the center. So I'm going to finish that off, and, you know, hopefully you'll get to see a ended picture or a final picture of it, maybe on Weekend Project or something like that. We'll put a picture at the end, okay? So thanks for watching, everybody, and liking and subscribing. And if you like what you saw, don't forget to click the little bell. And if you have any comments, just leave them below. So thanks, and I appreciate all the lovely comments that you guys leave us for the Mom and Pop Quilt Shop. Big hearts to you guys. Okay, take care.